Okay, Councillor Jammeh, please go ahead.
Thank you, Cornelia. Good afternoon, everybody, and welcome to today's hearing. My name is Councillor Jammeh, and I shall be chairing the meeting today. My colleagues, Councillor Anand and Councillor Sumner, and I comprise of today's subcommittee. Cornelia Harding, who's the clerk to the subcommittee, will be minuting the meeting. Alison Love is the legal advisor to the subcommittee, and Anjali Garcha, the senior licensing processing team leader, will introduce the report. In accordance with procedure, I shall invite the licensing officer to introduce the report and provide clarification on any factual issues. I will then invite the applicant to present the application, answer any questions, and call any witnesses, and invite those who have made representations or objections to make the representation, answer any questions, and call any witnesses. At the conclusion of the hearing, the subcommittee, accompanied by the legal advisor and committee democratic services officer, will retire to consider the decision. The decision will be given at the end of the meeting. Not really sure exactly what time, probably around 4 o'clock, but we can let you know that later. But failing that, it'll be confirmed to you within 5 working days in writing. If the panel cannot reach a decision today, you'll be notified in writing within 5 working days of the panel's decision. Thank you. I ask that everybody keeps the cameras on, but keep yourself muted unless speaking. Thank you. Right, I'd now like to welcome everyone. Myself, as I've explained, the councillors, and if those attending can introduce themselves, please. Can we start with Alison, please?
Good afternoon, everyone. I'm Alison Love. I'm the legal advisor.
Thank you. Anjali Garcha?
Yeah, hello. I'm the team lead for business support and licensing processing, London Borough of Ealing.
Mr. Panchal?
Sorry, I'm Mr. Panchal representing the applicant, Mr. Armal Itani. Mr. Armal Itani is here with me in my office if there was any questions to be asked, but I will be presenting the case. I'll be answering the questions. If you need him to answer anything or give him a question, he is here present with me to answer the questions.
Mr. Panchal, can you ask the applicant to show their face, please?
Can you?
Hello, guys. Hi.
Thank you very much. Thank you. And my councillor colleagues, Councillor Sumner and Councillor Anand, and we also have Irene Guto with us. I apologise if I haven't spelled your name correctly. Would you like to quickly say what your position here, please?
Yes, of course. I'm Irene Guto. I'm an interested party as a lead right above the property. I'm sorry for wearing a mask, but I'm in the office.
Okay, thank you. I think there's a little bit of interference there in the background, but that's okay. It's difficult when we're all in our home and working surroundings. We do have other noises that we have to bear with, okay? Right, the procedure as it is, as I've explained. I'm now going to invite the licensing officer to introduce the application, please.
Good afternoon, everybody. Mr. Armal Itani has made an application to vary a premises license in relation to the grind located at 216 Northfield Avenue, West Ealing, W13 9SJ. There was one representation that's been received for this application from an interested party. The nature of the proposed variation is as follows: to add on sales of alcohol to these existing off sales, which is currently authorised on the premises licence, to amend the retail sale of alcohol hours to Monday to Sunday, 10 o'clock till midnight, and to add the following licensable activity to the premises licence: late night refreshment from Monday to Sunday, 2300 hours to midnight. The layout of the premises has also changed, and a new premises plan is attached to the packs before you today. Thank you.
Thank you. Okay, Mr. Penchel, if you'd like to start off now, please, as you're representing the applicant.
Thank you very much, Chair. I'm going to go very brief and give you the background of Mr. Itani. Mr. Itani holds a personal license in the last 6 years. Before then, in the year 2004, he's got a restaurant which is called Da Daniela, which is in Warwick Avenue, Maidavale. And he's successfully run that restaurant till today without any breaches. He has a partner in there who's a DPS along with him. And being successful in the business, although Corona is around, and they may still manage to survive themselves, and now are proceeding to expand into a business and coming down into the Ealing Borough. And it's a similar type of menu that they're going to bring in for pizzeria and pastas. And again, they run on a family business way. So this business is going to become into a family business. It is not something that you're looking into a bar and restaurant for youngsters jumping into it. It's called The Grind. They've acquired this place, which holds a premises license, which is off license. And they managed to refurbish the place and managed to turn it into a restaurant. Hence, they have asked for a variation to the license to make sure an own license is granted. And that's what we are here today for. Ma'am, I also would like to bring to your attention during this period when the application was to be converted into an off license into an own license, there were works carried out. And the works were, during the works carried out, what the client has already done is there was a noise insulation on top of the restaurant. This noise insulation was reinforced, the joists were reinforced to make sure the tenants upstairs do not get any noise pollution from the restaurant. This restaurant is not going to be having any dances or any discos or anything of that sort. It's going to be a family business coming in to have pizzas and pastas and all that. Hence, they've still managed to put those joists up and managed to make sure that the roof complies by law in noise and vibration to travel above. Yes, we do apologize that during those times when the works were carried out, the noise insulations were stripped off and the noise traveled upstairs to Mrs. Irene Gudato's house, where she says in her, if you look at your page 36 of the bundle, where she says that at 11:30 she could hear the noise, but that noise was works carried out and that noise is now finished. The other thing that I'd like to explain to the committee is, yes, the objector has said that the alcohol was served during the notice period or during the time when the application was made. I would like to bring to your attention, and I think the license officer hasn't mentioned this, but I'd like to understand that there were temporary event notices given to the licensing officer. Those temporary event notices were granted for 25th May to 31st May and 3rd June to 8th June. And the last one runs today from 11th June to 16th June. All three temporary event notices under the Licensing Act were granted. There were no problems during those times when my client was serving alcohol and that, and he was entitled to serve that. So he wasn't breaking any law. When you look into the objection there, he was not breaking any law. He was fully compliant with the law under the Licensing Act 2003 because he had a grant of a temporary event notice. So the temporary event notices were granted to him to serve alcohol on premises. So ma'am, you can see that there is experience for Mr. Itani, quite a lot of experience for Mr. Itani. This is going to be something that is going to be favorable for the London Borough of Ealing in having somebody to come down and run hospitality industry with something new, Pizzario, which is Italian style
And French. Yeah.
and French style. I've been told French cuisine, and it is a family. So, ma'am, we feel we are here to answer any questions from any councillors. We are happy to answer anything that the objector wishes to know, but we do apologize to her during the works period that the noise was carried up inside, but we assure you that those noise insulations have been finished and there is no noise traveling upstairs, and full compliance has been made. So maybe we feel that this license will be granted today.
Thank you.
I also need to, Mr. Itani does know the 4 licensing objectives. He does hold a personal license. As you are aware, we are a training company. We are going to be looking after Mr. Itani's staff trainings. There will be a refusal book, there will be an incident book, and it will be fully compliant. The responsible authorities have already had a meeting with Mr. Itani. They are quite satisfied, and that is the reason you haven't seen any responsible authority object to this application, because Mr. Itani has had a very good record of himself and has presented very well in running this restaurant, in going to run this restaurant. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Mr. Panchal. I don't believe there are any witnesses, as far as I'm aware. So are there any questions, team? Councillor Anand, Councillor Sumner, any questions to Mr. Panchal?
Yes, Chair. I'd like to just get clarification on 2 points. Firstly, the premises are on sales. So is it correct to assume on page 20, you state that alcohol will only be served with food, whether when that's consumed on premises, and off sales will be only alcohol will be served with food again? Is that to say that that you are saying now that no alcohol as per the existing license, no alcohol will be served without food? Sorry, not served, but sold off premises without food.
That's correct, Chancellor. No alcohol will be served on its own. As I mentioned in my presentation earlier, to say to you that it is not going to be a bar and restaurant where people would come in and just have a drink. If anybody is coming in to have a drink, he or she will have to be provided with food, or she buys food. So alcohol will be served as per that conditions that we've laid out into our operating schedule. Automatically becomes the condition that food will be served with alcohol. So alcohol will be served with food.
Thank you. My other question is...
Yes, Councillor, carry on.
Yes, thank you, Chair. My other question is about the soundproofing. How do you have any kind of, did you involve the council acoustics team to actually be involved with the level of sound and or how was that actually decided that the soundproofing will be undertaken, and who gave you the specifications? Was it council members or was it your own decision?
It was the building, the guy who did the building work in the premises, which he has a lot of experience with restaurants and soundproofing systems in restaurants, and he said to me, we'll carry on the work and we know what we're doing.
Okay, so my question again, did you engage anybody from our council to endorse your soundproofing?
I can answer that. The reason there was no need to involve the council at this very instant, because if you look at the application, may I point out on page, if you go to page 15 of your bundle,
yeah,
and if you look at provision of live music, there is no live music going to be played at the premises. Provision of recorded music, there will be no recorded music played. provision of performance of dance. So there is no dance, or there is no music or anything played or going to be played, which normally the sound that we are talking about is amplified into a music system where you have a dance and you have a DJ or disco or that. As this is going to be a family business where they will only have a light background music and families will come to have meals and going away. So the client has taken every care to make sure the builder is putting the soundproofing systems which do not allow the sound to travel. If there was dance and music and disco to be at the premises, which would then give us a lot of problems in making sure the sound is not transmitted away.
Okay, so the congregation of a lot of people, how many, what is the capacity of your restaurant? What will it be?
24 people sitting.
24 people sitting.
Okay, all right, thank you. Thank you, Chair. No more questions.
Thank you, Councillor Anand. Councillor Sumner?
I have no questions. Thank you, Chair.
Okay, Mr. Panchal, I'd like to ask questions to your to the applicant, please, if you don't mind.
Just carry on, Richie.
Could you put him in the hot seat, please?
Oh yeah, okay. I'll move the hot seat out. Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, Chairman.
Thank you so much. I'd like to hear about your experience of running this type of an establishment, please.
So I've been in this business for more than 15 years. We deal with food and alcohol, and well, we haven't had any complaints or any from the neighbors or from the, because we don't do like loud music or any, we just serve alcohol with food and
No, you're talking about the experience.
Oh, the experience, yeah. So
food.
Yeah, we do pizzeria and pasta. So it's like a small restaurant, family run, with not a lot of seating area. So we just take small shops and turn them into restaurants.
Okay, so is this the only one you run, or are there others as well?
So we have, I have another one which I'm a director, so my partner runs the other one. So I'm going to be running this one.
So you've got one other and this one?
Yes, yeah.
Okay. What can you tell me about Challenge 25 policy?
Challenge 25. Children from harm. Challenge 25. Children from harm. Challenge 25.
You mean the protection of children from harm? And so yeah,
I'm not sure if you understand what I'm trying to say, sir.
Sorry?
I'm not sure if you understand what I'm trying to ask you.
It's for the
I'm trying to ask you if you understand the Challenge 25 policy. You're going to be running this restaurant, you're going to be serving alcohol.
Yeah.
So what is your understanding of the Challenge 25 policy?
Oh yeah, so I have to take care about the prevention of crime and disorder in the area of the public safety and the public and children from harm.
Well, to be honest, you haven't actually answered my question. I can hear Mr. Panchal trying to tell you to give the answers. So, you know, I'm a little bit concerned here.
Go on, Challenge 25.
Yeah, so because I've been running the you know, in the restaurants, and we take care about the customers if they are too drunk or if they are not able to drink anymore. So we carry them. We don't serve them any more alcohol, or if someone is under the age of the 18. So we ask always for IDs, and So if someone is he had more drinks than he's supposed to, so we don't serve them alcohol. But basically, the type of restaurants we do is always with food, even if it's there is no they don't order any food, so we offer from the house something for them to.
Can I stop you there, please, if you don't mind? You told us that you have another premises as well that you all jointly run with your wife at the moment. Do you serve any alcohol at that premises?
Yes, we do.
You do?
Yeah.
Okay. Right. Alison, I can see a hand up. Alison, would you like to speak?
Sorry, Chair. I just wanted to, whilst it's not directly relevant to your determination under the Licensing Act, I just wanted to clarify the petition with regard to Planning Commission, because I think the subcommittee has been made aware that Planning Commission to change to a restaurant use was refused last August. And I was just wondering if there are any plans to resubmit that application, and whether or not the flu that seemed to be one of the main reasons why Planning Commission was refused is still there, or whether there are any plans to replace that with something else. Thank you.
Thank you. Mr. Panchal, you or your client can answer that question.
Sorry, Chair, I'll come in. Can I just can I come in? Secretary, Alison can. Sorry, Alison, if I can get that answer, sorry, that question again. Sorry, Alison.
Yes, so you'll be aware that your client's Planning Commission, your client's planning application to change to an A3 use was refused last August, partly because of the flu that was already in place with the retrospective application. I was wondering whether a new application was going to be submitted and whether that flu is still in place, because obviously.
Sorry, Alison, sorry, I can't hear you properly. So can you? Sorry, Chairman, if you can repeat or.
Can you hear me now?
We can hear you, Alison. Thank you.
Yes, it's a question about Planning Commission. You'll be aware that your client's application to change to a restaurant use was refused in August last year. One of the issues that the planning officer raised was the flu that was already in place, the extract flu. And I was wondering whether or not another application was going to be put in, and whether the flu was still there, or whether it was going to be modified. Because obviously your client won't be, whilst the license application can proceed and will, you wouldn't be able to operate without that planning commission being resolved.
I can take that instructions for planning, because normally planning and licensing are two different matters. That the licensing is independent from planning at the moment. I understand that's going to come in later on in the Parliament, but I can ask the client whether there is a planning permission for A3FI.
Right, so on the new legislation, you don't need to apply anymore. It's the E1 now, which you don't need to apply anymore to the council for carrying out, if you to do a restaurant. For the extractor flue, we have used a carbon filter extractor, which doesn't let the smell going out. It's just the air coming out from the. So you don't need to. So with the guy who fitted the extractor fan, he provided us with the carbon filters, so the smell doesn't go out to disturb the neighbors.
So there is already a planning permission to carry on.
The E1 now doesn't need to anymore. It's not like the A3s.
Okay, Mr. Panchal, can I just ask your applicant? So have they replaced the duct, or has it been moved somewhere else? I'm talking about the extractor fan now.
Yes, the extractor fan
Is there? Yeah.
Is there already?
No, I understand it's there, but from what I was reading somewhere, I'm sorry, but I didn't actually put down the page. It was the extractor fan that was causing the issue within this particular case.
Extractor fan.
Yes.
Fan is like the old other places which have extractor fan. This one is a silent one, and it has a carbon fiber which doesn't bring any smell or any noise because it's very silent, and it doesn't bring any noise to so it's just blowing air out.
Okay, thank you. Councillor Anand, you had your hand up to ask a question.
No, I think it's clarified. It was about so just to clarify, then the applicant will not be applying for A3 use. Is that right? Because he's using E1.
Yes.
Yes, they are. Yes.
So he will not be applying for A3 any longer.
No.
We doesn't have to. We don't need to anymore with the new legislation.
With the
Okay.
new legislation, it says it doesn't need to.
Okay. Thank you. We'll check with our legal team, but thank you.
Thank you. Councillor Sumner, any questions?
No, we're fine, thank you.
All right, thank you. Okay, we don't have any other responsible authorities here today, but I do believe we have Irene here today. Irene, it's your turn to have your say on this.
I just wanted to say, sorry, I'm going to take my mask off for a second so that you can see my face. I do understand that they said that the installation has been done in terms of noise. Now, yes, it was extremely noisy during the work, but I can confirm, because I live right above the premises, that I can still hear noises, especially when the music is on. It's, for us living in the apartment above, is literally like being inside the restaurant, the same level of noise. And when it comes to smells, I can't comment about the extractor fan and the filter that's been applied, but I can confirm that I can still smell all the kitchen smells, which, you know, it's pizza smell, so it can be pleasant sometimes, but I can still smell food smells as well. So, you know, in that terms of noise and smells, I don't feel like this has been taken care of properly. And also the extractor fan, as all extractor fan do have a lot of experience in hospitality myself, but I can feel vibrations up until, you know, like quite late at night. So while the extractor fan is working, the vibration in the walls and on the floors can still be felt, as well as noise. But this is the extent of my comment. Thank you.
Thank you. Anybody want to ask any questions to Irene, Councillor Anand?
Yes, hello, Irene. Thank you. Tell us, just let us into your experience. When they've had the temporary event notices, have you heard, so they have completed their works, have you heard any noises? Because there's no music, but there's people just gathered together, and it's only 24, but have you heard noises?
Yes, I can hear the noises. I can hear entire piece of conversation as well as music. Now, they say they didn't have music, but there was.
Did you inform the noise team? We have a noise team. Did you inform them or anything? Did you make any complaints?
No, I have to say I did not mention it to them.
Okay, one more question. About the extraction, you say you still have smells coming in. We've heard this afternoon that there's not supposed to be any smells. It's just supposed to be just air coming out. What's your experience?
I can hear, I can smell the kitchen smells. To be fair, they often have all the doors open and the windows open. So even if they have an extractor fan, the smell would be able to come in from, you know, like other venues, as well as, I'm not sure if they have a pizza one.
Do you feel that the smells are coming from the windows or the extraction? Because if it's coming from the extraction windows, they can be closed.
Yeah, I can't really comment on that. I just know that I can smell kitchen smells from my kitchen in my flat.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Irene, can I ask you, I mean, I understand you live above this particular
Correct.
establishment. How many other flats or apartments are, in the same vicinity above this property?
So right above the property, it's only mine. But of course, these are kind of like properties attached one to the other. So of course, while I'm directly above the premises, there are other flats kind of like around the area, just not directly above.
Okay, thank you.
You're welcome.
Thank you, Irene. Councillor Sumner, do you have any questions for Irene?
No, I haven't, but I am concerned that one party is saying there's no problem and the other party is saying there is a problem. So maybe we'll talk about that later.
Yes, yes, we will talk about that later. Okay, thank you, Irene, for giving us an update, especially after reading your letter, email that you sent as well. Thank you very much. Okay, we will now.
You're welcome. Thank you.
Get back. Now, I'm now going to ask our responsible authorities. Guys,
Councillor.
sorry.
I don't think there are any other parties, Councillor.
Yes, yes, I realise after I turned the page over. Thank you. Right, if there are no further questions, I'd like to go back to Anjali to sum up, please.
It wouldn't be for me to sum up.
Chair, I believe it's the
Mr. Panchal.
Yeah.
Mr. Panchal sum up first, and then Irene
Thank you.
to add anything more.
Thank you, Cornelia. Mr. Panchal, would you like to sum up, please?
Yes, Chairman, I would like to sum up. I'm a little bit concerned about the planning in that matter, because I gather the planning in that matter under Section 182 guidance clearly states it's a matter for the planning and not matter for this licensing committee to discuss about.
Can I interrupt there, Mr. Panchal? I have checked and there is a one use class E now, which came in September of last year, which would have post-dated your client's application. So he wouldn't have needed. You're quite right. He wouldn't have needed planning permission for a change of use. I'm not clear about any built development like the flu, but and you're obviously quite right that the licensing decision won't have any bearing on the planning situation in any event. Thank you.
Yeah,
Thank you for clarification, Alison.
So
you may carry on.
Sorry, yes, I just wanted to confirm with Alison that the planning does not confirm with the licensing. Am I right in saying that?
No, that's quite right. That's quite right.
Thank you, Alison. So, ma'am, all matters are taken into consideration, and all matters have. This is not a venue where, in my opinion, and in my client's opinion, and what the best of my knowledge, this is not a venue that we are looking at where we are going to be expecting a huge crowd or a huge people. It's only a 24 people restaurant, and it is a restaurant where we're not expecting to have parties, we're not expecting to have discourse or anything. All we're doing is serving the best pizzas and pastas that they are used to doing at their other venue since 2004. And we're silently serving the families. So it's a matter for families. And again, we are making it very clear that the alcohol will only be served with meal. It is not going to be served apart without any meals. Even the takeaway food, the alcohol is only going to be served with a takeaway meal. So if anybody ordered a takeaway meal, that alcohol will be served with a takeaway meal. It will not be served on its own. So it is not going to be a bar or anything. As regards to the smell, I do understand, and my client does understand that he's taken care of to make sure smells don't go up. But again, we will look into it again if there was a problem, and we'll make sure that it doesn't happen and it complies. And then Mrs. Irene, the objector, is satisfied, and we will get in touch with her. and I'll make sure my client does work along with the client upstairs. So, ma'am, we feel that the license be granted.
Okay. Thank you. Irene,
Yeah.
is there anything you'd like to say?
Sorry, no, I believe I said anything that I need to say. Thank you.
Right. Anything else anybody want to ask? Alison, if that's the case, we can. This is where we can retire and make our deliberation.
That's correct, Chair.
Okay, thank you. If that's the case, team, Mr. Panchal, Irene, thank you very much. The team will now retire. So you'll need to make yourself scarce from the screen for a little while so we can make a decision, and we will get back to you as soon as we can. It'll probably be before 4 o'clock, but I will leave that to Cornelia to email you to let you know when you have to come back in again.
Yes, I can certainly do that, Chair.
Thank you.
So if Mr. Panchal and Irene and Angelique could leave the meeting now. Thank you.